Hi, Ginger. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Are
But
you?
you should be better than me. You just got back from vacation.
I know, but it's that vacation fatigue. Oh, did so much, like 20,000 steps a day.
Oh
Whew.
my goodness.
Lots of public transportation and
Yeah.
all things that you need to do in a big city. So, yeah.
Yeah. What was your favorite?
Well, I love Montreal, actually, is
Yeah.
probably my favorite. It's a very diverse city,
Yeah.
in many, many ways. Yeah, I could live there, actually, to tell you the truth.
Oh man, when Joe and I went there, it was part time there, and then we jumped over to Quebec City. I needed you as my tour guide in Montreal because I didn't do half the things that I think you did.
Mm, I think we hit I think we hit most of on 2 days in Quebec City was
Yeah.
good and
Yeah.
perfect. But
Yeah.
Montreal we spent I think 6, 7 days. So
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
fantastic. Okay.
Well,
Well,
we've
you're
got a
going on
lot.
vacation soon, right?
Yeah, we hope so. We've
Okay.
had some challenges with our new camper. A refrigerator that hasn't been used more than two times is now being completely replaced. And it's a long sob story, but we'll get it and we're gonna head out and do a workation next week. So we're pretty
That's
excited.
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we doing today, Ginger?
Well, we are going to tie in the new news with helping our listeners learn a little bit more about our July 23rd conference.
Yes. Okay.
I think most of the conferences healthcare providers attend are predominantly clinically based with
Yes.
hot new topics and, statistics and, well,
Sometimes repeating all the same old stuff
yeah,
too.
that you hear a lot, right? But you
Yes,
need
right.
those CME.
Yeah.
And as we're going to talk about today, we've changed it up to a much more business approach and
Yes.
professional issues. So let's start with a giant professional issue that I do believe, although I'd have to go back to January, Denise. I think this was our first new news ever, which is the Nebraska
Yes.
home birth case.
Yes, I remember this new news,
Okay.
Ginger. So is it old new news?
No, this is new news.
Okay, so this
Th-
is yeah.
this
Okay.
is the ongoing saga in the media, June 24th, from the Pacific Legal Foundation, who happens to be one of our speakers for the conference.
Yes, that was a perfect tie-in.
And the headline says Nebraska mothers sue to restore home birth freedom.
Yes.
So there are three families in the state that are suing the state. And I just want to read a little bit of this. I won't go too far into it, but I think it's really important to understand that Nebraska is the only state that bars certified nurse midwives from attending home births. And
Incredible.
midwives who do can face felony charges. So we know that Heather Swanson, a friend of mine, actually attended the home birth of one of the mothers suing by getting an appeal or a granting from a judge to allow her to do it. It was a beautiful home birth. It was in the media. And you know what I love going back to William Urey's discussion, and I really need to read the history of the war in Ireland, how
Yes.
the mothers rose up on both sides, the Protestant and Catholic sides, and said, enough already. I think that's happening in Nebraska.
Okay. I think it needs to happen. We
Yeah,
need
because
uprisings.
yeah, I mean the provider, we can't do it ourselves. We've
No.
been trying and we don't get anywhere in the legislature.
I mean, we're we already know those that are practicing clinical are tired, so we need people to help. We need
Yeah,
everybody to rise up.
yeah.
I agree. It's
So the Pacific Legal Foundation attorney that's representing, well, it's a team representing these mothers, say it's denying them of a fundamental freedom of constitutional protections, and that the government cannot override deeply personal decisions about childbirth without a compelling reason. These women deserve the freedom to choose safe, lawful care with unconstitutional burdens. Now, what's interesting in this to me as well is there is some case law. I don't know if you remember this, Denise, where a woman was forced to have a C-section. I think a black woman in the South.
Yes,
and a court ordered that to occur, and it did.
it did. It's horrifying,
Yeah.
horrifying.
So now we've got the law involved in more than reproductive justice in the sense of abortion rights, but now we're talking about birth choices.
Correct.
And it's getting kind of crazy.
Mm. Yeah, I do remember that case. It
Yeah.
was, I think she was actually in labor and wasn't
Yes.
progressing.
Yes.
And then they forced her.
Yeah.
It's horrifying to think about. Like
I can't imagine that happening in a work environment.
in the midst of, I know, I can't even imagine, like, I also the healthcare providers, all of them involved, just that being in pain and being exhausted and then being forced
Yeah.
to have something happen to you
Yeah.
by court order.
So the courts and the legal system is creeping in more than ever before, sometimes to defend and sometimes to perhaps abuse,
Right,
you know?
right. It borders on abuse, if not
Yeah.
completely is. So,
Well,
okay, so
why don't we jump into the conference?
right. All right. So, where do we start? So that they are coming as one of our speakers.
Yeah, but you know what? Let's back up just a second and tell me what your thoughts are. Like you're around, we've already talked about a lot of midwives in your practice. Why would a clinical midwife want to attend a non-clinically focused conference?
So, I mean, I think actually it's good to move away from a clinical focus all the time because that's what we're always in. I think it's necessary to move outside of those circles. We don't always have a lot of time and energy to do that, but this is like a short day that really focuses on a lot of key ways that people can become involved as midwives, as providers, as even non-midwives to really protect maternal health. So moving away from the things that we're always inundated with, saturated with, all the
Yeah,
clinical issues, and really give us, I think, some, hope and tools. I do think
I
hope is a
agree.
big one, but hope and tools for how we can work individually and in groups to not just focus on the individual
Yeah.
patients, but really to take it, broad. What do we call that? An umbrella view or something.
Yeah,
Balcony
a
view.
balcony view. Yeah,
Right.
and sort of to go back to Simon Sinek, why? You know,
Why?
give them the why these things are important.
Right, right. So I think it's good. Shake it up a little bit and get
Yeah,
interested. You need to like stimulate different parts of our
yeah,
brain and our spirit and our body.
yeah. And you know, it's a perfect time because the workforce shortage is struggling both in
Oh,
retention and growth.
it is.
You're taking care of higher volumes of people because of their fewer providers. You know, there's just so much going on, and we're being talked a lot about. And so, being prepared to be in those conversations, I think these speakers will touch on those
Yes.
issues. So
I think
we're good.
being
We're
prepared
sort of
and forcing us to the table.
yeah. Well, we are nesting because of how our accrediting body, KU AHEC, Area Health Education Centers with University of Kansas CME, is allowed to administer educational credits a front and back pre and post session before the 5.5 CME core content all on the same day.
Yes.
So, guess who we're starting with, Denise? One of your
Mm,
friends.
one of my friends.
We're starting at 9 in the morning on a Thursday, July 23rd, with Lonnie from the Doctor's Company.
Lonnie, I love Lonnie. So 9 Central Standard Time.
9 Central Standard Time. And Lonnie and one of his colleagues, Julie Brightwell, an attorney, will be speaking on risk management for midwives in particular from the Doctor's Company actuarial data.
So in addition to the 5.5 CMEs, we actually have, several other sessions
Yes.
that will provide invaluable information. Okay, Lonnie's really
Yeah.
worth really meeting, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would
And
love to hear from the other one as well. So
yeah,
really important content.
Lonnie has actually spoke to several midwifery education programs to their completing students. And Julie and I were on a panel at ACNM in Palm Desert last year talking about specific cases. And actually, we're going to do another panel this fall in Kansas City.
Okay.
The Doctors Company really embraces advanced practice providers and have come to the table for independently practicing CNMs and CMs. And I think they're coming as a sponsor. We want to thank them very much for doing that part for us, but also
Yes.
for the information they're going to present.
Right, right. Okay. So what why would somebody want to like listen to that? Like
Yeah.
for somebody who which parts, Ginger, will really pique their interest, do you
Risk
think?
reduction,
All right.
malpractice risk reduction.
Okay.
In an age of ever changing tools, like do you have an AI scribe? Are you writing narrative? Are you doing checkboxes? Are you having things co-signed? Timely consultation? All the things that could, in fact, bear a great deal of evidence on a malpractice case.
Okay. All right.
Risk reduction,
Yes.
really important.
All right. So, I mean, we all face that. Like those practicing clinically or those who
Yeah,
have practiced clinically, there's always, those cases, those fears.
yeah.
So
I
really
mean, how do
very
you see 25, 30 patients in a day and do adequate charting on everybody?
well, that's right. I mean, AI is coming in to be a scribe, and using a lot of templates, but
Yeah,
making sure you're really changing the templates to fit
yeah.
the case scenario, et cetera, et cetera. So,
I
okay.
think the other thing too is a lot of students and new graduates simply don't get this content.
No. Okay. I totally have to agree with that.
Yeah. And we do have a reduced rate for students at $75. So, I think while students are definitely focused on psychomotor skills and management plans, malpractice liability is huge. We have the largest malpractice rates of any other advanced practice specialty. So to the tune of maybe 4 to 5 times higher per year
Oh, it's
if you're
always so
paying out of
shocking.
pocket. Yeah.
Hmm.
So really, really important to understand some of those issues around your increased liability as an advanced practice provider.
Yeah, the doctor's company has also provided, occasional like conferences that you can attend, webinars, right?
Right, right. And they have a
So,
freely accessible library with incredible educational opportunities. But there's a CME out right now, a free 1.0 CME on risk reduction that you can log on to their webpage without even being a written underwriter by them and get the CME for no cost.
will there be any opportunity to ask questions of Lonnie? And
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah,
so I
we'll
think
have time.
I mean, I do think this is really, really important to not just for new graduates, students who aren't getting the content, but just a refresher course for
Hmm.
people who've been, things are shifting. So a
Yeah.
refresher course of people who have been in the field for a long time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we will move to the official opening of the day, which is our keynote speaker. And
Oh,
any
everybody who knows us knows
everybody who knows.
who knows our keynote speaker.
Yeah, William Ury. He's going to be with us. And he originally was not going to send a PowerPoint because, my gosh, the guy could just stand up and speak for an entire day without notes. But he
Right.
decided to send a PowerPoint, and I've seen it, and it's really fantastic.
Is it? Okay. I'm gonna wait to be surprised.
Yeah. So he's
Hmm.
I think he's really trying to focus on us, our profession.
Okay.
And if for those who are listening today, if you've not listened to his podcast with us, I would really encourage you to go back and listen.
Set the stage for this incredible speaker. And,
Yeah.
I think this is going to be, I'm really looking forward to listening to Yuri again.
Yeah.
So,
If, in my mind, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
right.
This individual is so incredibly world renowned. For him to agree for free, Denise,
Yes.
to come and speak to us, a very small cohort of healthcare providers in our country, and really embrace and understand our challenges and how to navigate them, how to negotiate, how to step back and build coalitions. This guy has got it all for us to learn from.
I mean, he has such, well, you mentioned the, the Irish history of, women coming together, mothers, but he really ties in so much more than that. Even the
Yeah,
creating unions, and really how it's very based on people coming together and fighting for,
yeah,
for basic rights, for, safety, for health. And he really has, I think, embraced midwifery.
yeah.
I think he's really enjoyed taking that perspective as well, and looking from a historical as well as just an economical basis.
You
So,
know what he's got me thinking about? It's sort of, I don't know if it's because when you get older, you just sort of your mind wanders constantly, or if
oh, I don't
it's
know what that's like, Ginger. Never going to get old.
or if it's a collision of ideas because they're supposed to come together. But
Mhm.
I put a post up today with the ABC News last night featured 25,000 Dutch people in orange
I saw this. I
filling the
saw
streets
this.
of Kansas City. Our conference is in Kansas City this fall, right?
Hmm.
And all I keep coming back to is how did they get national attention? A bunch of people took to the streets. And
Right.
you know what I'm thinking.
Yes, I'm thinking that you're thinking, and also the color orange really stuck out. I know that represents, their country,
Yeah.
but it also just represents, like, the March for Moms, right?
Yeah, it does.
So, a bunch of midwives and midwife families and friends and moms and babies and everything. I know you're thinking, let's let it happen in Kansas City, in the heart of the US,
I
right?
am. I
I
am.
know, I know.
We're gonna keep pondering because we don't want 10 people walking. We're
Mm-mm.
not going to get 10,000 people walking. But even if we got 300 people walking,
I'm gonna say
we'd be on the news.
500. Let's go for
Let's
500.
go for 500.
I hope I can make it.
So anyway, William Ury, definitely. I would also suggest get his book before he speaks. Um, for us, it was better to get on Audible and listen to his voice tell his own stories. But I've looked at that book so many times behind me. It will help you get past the initial understanding of his work to really hear the next level of how you can integrate
The why. I mean, it's the why
it.
of his work,
Yeah.
you know, when he really does look at, populations, and he has worked with populations around the world. So
Yeah. So, in essence, the tone is being set by William Ury for the rest of the speakers. So,
okay.
let's say you have an issue, you got a big issue. And remember, um, one of the, maybe it was him that we talked with. I can't remember now. We're starting to get up there, Denise, where the midwives filed a class action lawsuit, right?
Mm,
And so, when you get into that layer of what are your options, sometimes your options are legal,
right.
right? You seek legal advice to help. And Jamie Kavanaugh from the Pacific Legal Foundation will follow William Ury. Um, and as a senior policy analyst for this very large national organization, I think they have over 300 attorneys. I'm not exactly sure,
That's
but
incredible.
they're really looking at societal constitutional issues. And
Okay.
as we introduce this whole podcast, the intersection of reproductive issues is like almost every week something's happening.
Yes. Well, you're always coming up with new news, Ginger. So yes,
Yeah,
something
I
is always
mean
happening.
the Mississippi midwives suing, the Georgia midwives suing, the Nebraska midwives are. I mean, it's just like
And now the Nebraska mothers.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
okay. So we have William, then we have Jamie.
yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where Jamie is going to land her main objectives, but I do know she's going to talk about regulatory issues and the intersection of those issues with full scope midwifery care.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So
So,
this really hits the cognitive areas of our job, and hopefully it will stimulate our, advocacy in
yeah,
different ways as well.
let's just
So,
think of restraint of trade cases. I mean,
mm,
those are popping up as well. And if you're not in a full scope independent practice state and you've been banging and banging and banging your head to try to get there, these guys do the work for free.
I think that's incredible.
That they're sort of like the ACLU.
Uh, so how did you find them, Ginger?
Oh, this is a great story. So last year, Arden and Leslie and I went to the National Council of State Legislators' 50th meeting in Boston, and
Mm,
we were an exhibitor. Right beside us, because we're on a corner, right beside us was the Medicaid Associations of America, which was a great place to be.
that is. Oh, wow.
Like two exhibits down was DONA, so we felt
Okay.
really welcomed with the doulas.
Right.
And the I've never seen an exhibit hall this full. Maybe ACOG is close, but I mean it's like huge. And all of a sudden, one of the sessions comes two women from the Pacific Legal Foundation, and we look like amateur hour in our exhibit. We had
Right.
like a tiny little banner that you couldn't even read from very far away that was hanging up behind us. We had a fair amount of nice stuff on the table, but you had to really look to see Grow Midwives. And
Right.
then you're like, who the heck is Grow Midwives? Well, they came and found us and said,
No.
this is who we are. This is the work we do. We want to get to know you. And we've sort of been engaged with them ever since.
Oh, that's super hard. That's hardcore. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And
Networking, man.
I didn't say hardcore. That's hardcore. I think that's amazing.
Yeah. It's all about networking.
Well, I mean, I think the work that they're doing obviously is very much mirrors what we
Yeah.
do.
The other thing that's fascinating is, the doctor's company. I sit on the advisory board. It's now going into the fifth year, and this year in Napa, we go there annually. Guess who one of the guest speakers were? And there were only three brought in the morning because in the afternoon we're talking about APP issues. But the doctor's company brought in an attorney from the Pacific Legal Foundation to talk
Mm,
about advanced practice providers and the use of the phrase doctor and a
okay.
case going on in California.
So I'm just seeing this interconnectedness that's
Yeah.
happening. So this is more than just taken to the streets of Kansas City. This is a coalition.
Yeah.
It's already been
Yeah.
forming with some incredible people.
That we don't know we're out there doing it.
I know everybody's doing their own little work in a silo, and
Yeah.
this conference is bringing everybody together.
Hopefully.
This,
Or telling our constituency, you need to go get out there and find them. They're out there.
right. Okay.
Like the Pacific Legal Foundation, I think is involved in the case of a Missouri advanced practice provider suing the Attorney General of the state of Missouri related to scope of practice supervisory requirements.
All right. If this just doesn't, get everyone stirred up, I don't know what will. So
Yeah.
between William Ury helping us to figure out how to, address those things, and then, oh, this is actually getting very exciting.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
all building.
You know what? Pencil it in, people. Pencil it in. This is some really good content.
Um, and then we're going to give people a short lunch break. Maybe some surprises will come out of that
Hmm.
to be talked about later. And then we come back with somebody who was on our last podcast, Ellen Breslin.
Ellen, she's dynamite.
She's dynamite. Denise, I've listened to her podcast 3 times. And
Okay.
each time I pulled out a little sentence or two to talk to the Kansas affiliates about how we are still being stalemated with the TEMA grant.
Okay. I am putting her back on my list. I was on vacation, so I literally didn't do anything
Yeah,
too
of course
heady
not.
except for get to speak French all the time. But Ellen, she is like a ball of yarn intertwisting all these amazing bits of information,
Yeah.
with experience, with passion, and with her knowledge of really going to the course. She gives some really good ideas about
And I
strategy.
think what was so hard for me, the reason why I listened, like honestly, 3 times, is it's a new language for me.
Right.
Policy is like Chinese. If you unless you're working in policy or lobbying or very entwined in, you know, budgets and analysis and, things that the
Yeah.
legislators want to hear,
Yeah.
like it's not stuff we do.
No, it's very taxing to the brain to learn a new language.
But she
And
lays it out and
she
she's
does.
bringing a toolkit.
Yes. And really just how you met her as well. I mean, everything is laid out in that podcast, and then we get to have more of her,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So the history is just amazing again, intertwining midwifery with policy work.
Yeah. The Cambridge Health Alliance, one of our clients,
Yes.
I have somebody at the door. I'm not sure who, but that's okay. We're on a podcast, Hans. That's okay. We have a house full of all kinds of wonderful people. Um, Ellen showed up at the Cambridge Health Alliance open house for their new birth center.
Ellen did?
Ellen did. There's pictures of her with the state legislators. She
Oh,
knows a lot of the people that were there speaking because she's a very dear friend of Kim Emsley Camp.
right, right,
So
right, right.
it all circles back again, that
Okay.
Ellen is getting more and more connected with our profession and how to nuance conversations, especially with Medicaid plans, which is what we're predominantly interested in a lot of
Okay.
conversations is Medicaid.
So she's going to give us ideas of how to like
Navigate Medicaid, payment reform.
penetrate
Yeah.
Medicaid.
Tell them
Okay.
the story, get them to listen.
So
Persistence.
reimbursement and advocacy related to reimbursement.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you make the case, right? What's the
Mm,
business case?
right,
And
right.
I know other groups have tried to do this. The Institute for Medicaid Innovation had a series to make the business case for midwifery. I participated, Leslie participated, Arden participated in some of those sessions. To me, the difference with Ellen is she does this work every single day.
Right. Okay. So she walks the walk.
She walks the walk.
She talks the talk, and she's coming to share her
Yeah.
wealth of information.
So when Ellen hits the stage, be ready to just go, I think I'm going to listen to this again.
Right. I mean, I think it's one of those where you just reread the book over and over until you can
Yeah.
pull out bits that are useful.
Yeah. And by the way, we do have permissions now. Anyone that registers, whether you attend or not, will be able to get recordings of every speaker,
Fantastic. Wow.
which is great.
That is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about that here in a minute.
All right.
So, guess who follows Ellen Breslin? Somebody we're going to queue up for a podcast here real soon. Diana Jollis, the only
Diana.
midwife doing a solo presentation.
Okay. What is she offering us? What is Diana
Well,
bringing us?
here's her title: Midwives as Agents of Change, Leadership, Teamwork, and Transformation.
Well, aren't all of these things coming to a head?
Doesn't it? It's like, okay, let's just keep the conversation going about how you create create these needs within your practice setting.
Right. It's almost like an immersive retreat. All of
That's a
these
great point.
people coming together. I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of this, I would expect, cannons going off, like midwives just shooting out and really,
Oh.
going to do some great work.
Well, and one of the fun things about Diana, besides the fact have you ever heard her speak, Denise?
Um, I haven't
Formal
specific
presentation.
not a formal
Yeah,
presentation.
she is a dynamic, really a dynamic speaker and
Okay.
very engaging.
All right. Well, I I'm looking forward to her story. I'm looking forward to what she can
Yeah.
bring to the table as a midwife, really taking all the elements that are from the other speakers and wrapping it up in a nice package.
Yeah. Because really, I mean, Diana represents what you and I have done, practice in multiple settings.
Right.
She, worked in the birth center with Sister Angela. She's worked in the hospital acute care setting. She actually helped open an alongside midwifery unit in Tucson, taking their birth center and bringing it in the hospital. She's a prolific researcher for birth center outcome data. And she worked at CMMI for the federal government when the TMAH grant was being drafted.
Oh,
Did you know that about her, Denise?
I think I did have a hint of that, Ginger, but only
Yeah.
because I did a little bit of research.
Yeah. So
You
once
know,
again, Diana is tied right back into
right,
policy
right.
advocacy. She was a keynote at ACNM's DC policy gathering a couple months ago. She really has her pulse on the language, the connections, the strategy.
And it sounds like maybe as a largely clinical midwife in many different birth centers, she can really break it down,
Yeah.
when the
Yeah.
language becomes, you know, scary or seems heavy. I think she can help break some of that
Yeah.
down into very workable steps.
I, you know, I think also as a researcher,
Mm,
she knows how to translate the
yes.
findings into meaningful conversations.
Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing Diana.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Then guess who's next? Our
Who's
last
next?
included CME happens to be your panel.
Oh, my panel. Let me just tell a little bit about our panel.
Yeah.
So I think, what's fun about the panel that we'll have three different groups of a midwife and an obstetrician. Or in one case, the obstetrician won't be present, but their voices will be heard. Really trying to describe three different collaborative practice models. So really looking at private practice, hospitalist practice, and then like an academic setting practice. And really the story behind it, the logistics of how it came to be, some of the, barriers, some of the strengths, some of the successes, and really just to give models for anybody going into practice, that whether they're currently in practice or they're trying to create new practices, about how it's possible, how each of these models
Yes.
are great models of care, providing midwifery care to a large number of, the encompassing the scope of midwifery practice. And I think it's very, it just it breaks it down into something that could be quite usable, with references about how it's possible. I keep going
Yeah.
back to that, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we'll be presenting on. So I'm
You
very
know what I'm
excited.
so excited about is, when we're out there working with hospitals about particular models or even
Hmm.
midwives, there isn't a model. There
Right.
are
There is
many,
not a
there,
model.
there are many models, and a lot of it depends on the community, the type of
Yes, yes.
setting. Um,
The whether you're able to practice independently or not,
exactly,
and whether
exactly.
the type of setting that you want to practice in as well.
Yeah,
There's so many different options. Obviously, we can't include all the models, but it's just a way to provide an example of some things that have worked very well.
yeah, and also the harmony in how the pairs are coming.
Hmm. That's true. Oh, I like that word. That's, I think actually that's a very good word, because I'm happy to be able to present about an academic setting and really how it's evolved over 30 plus years.
Yeah, what'd you
And
start? How many midwives you start with?
oh, I think that, I wasn't there when it started because it's
Yeah.
been over 30 years, and since I'm only 29,
Yeah.
that was before I was born. Okay, maybe not. But I think, I really think they started with a handful, probably four or five,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's now, I think we have 19.
Yeah.
So with some other per diem. But it's not really just about size. It really is how the relationships have really evolved over
Hmm.
time
Hmm.
into something that even includes a lot of, out of hospital relationships.
Mm-hmm. It's
So,
great. That's
which
great.
is very, very positive. And we actually have perspectives from some of the out of hospital providers as well that we'll be
Oh,
including in
wonderful.
our discussion. So
That's wonderful. We're really
community,
excited about
it's
that.
it's our community, right?
Yeah, so we're sort of starting with William Ury. Well, we're really starting with the doctor's company, talking about risk and mitigation. But when we get into Williams talking about what's possible, all the way through to these examples of let's keep the hope up, right? Let's not give
Mhm.
up. Let's not turn our head. Let's not put it in the sand.
Right,
Let's realize that there are ways to make changes.
right. And I think it's always important to remember again why we do what we do and who we're taking care of.
Yeah.
So,
So after you guys,
right.
we are going to have a post-conference presentation by another major sponsor of ours, Natera, who I'm sure all the healthcare providers know who they are. They're a cell-free DNA company doing a lot in the women's health arena and really support midwifery providers across the nation.
Yes.
A geneticist will be talking during that 45 minutes, and we're very grateful for them to come talk about some of the new technologies and options that are available.
I think it'll be great.
Yeah.
Great way to end it.
Oh, we're
Right,
not
Ginger?
ending it. We're not ending it.
Oh, I know.
Okay. And then we have this wild social hour being hosted
Okay.
by you and Leslie.
Wild. Oh, it's going to be wild. Okay. Do we have to dress for the part
Well, you got to bring out the alcohol, that's for sure.
or the mocktails? We'll
Or
bring
the
out the
mocktails. Okay. Okay.
or whatever. Leslie's creating recipes, so.
That's right. I forgot
Mhm.
about that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna have a social hour. What do we hope? What do we hope happens, Denise?
You know what? I think just connecting in a
Yep.
way, where, because I think we all know connection is very vital. Maybe we create, it's going to be whatever it wants to be, whatever it's going to evolve into. But I think the
Yeah.
main key is connection, and if people want to move forward together in any type of plans, projects, whether it's something
Yeah.
on a big scale or whether it's just personal connections.
Yeah.
And I think people can just stay on and, and reach out in a virtual setting. It'll be interesting, to
It
see
will
how it
be. It will
works.
be. What I'm hoping too is the connections. I just made one on Messenger yesterday.
Oh,
Somebody sends me a message and says, you know what? I'm finally gonna stop. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to continue working in this environment.
oh,
I'm going to be looking for a new job.
okay.
Tells me a little bit about herself and what she's looking for. I connected her with a large practice looking for an experienced midwife, and I think she's got an interview.
I think that's amazing. See, this is what I've always hope. What's interesting too? I mean, this will be virtual, but you're located in Kansas City, and Grow Midwives is
Yeah,
kind of grows out of Kansas City,
yeah,
its roots. And so that will be, right before our national conference in
yeah,
October.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, what
So the
so
networking opportunities, all of us will be on. That'll include Arden. There may be people who have questions about the new coding and billing. Joe will be on. We'll see if we can get Isaac on. We can even do breakout rooms if people want to do certain topic areas.
hmm?
But we're, committed to hanging around and letting people ask questions and see if we can connect and give resources during that hour.
So, I think
We,
this is a good synopsis. If anybody has any questions, respond to the podcast. We
yeah,
can help to further, clarify any of the content.
absolutely.
It's a good time. I think it's a fair, I think in one day, I think you'll get exactly what you need for this, these concepts.
So again, it's
Topics.
5.5 CME. It's 150 for any licensed professional.
Okay.
$75 for students, and I think a grant is awarding money for all the students at UT Memphis to attend.
Oh, that's
So
phenomenal.
students, you may go out there and ask for money from your education programs. Uh,
Right.
You can register through the KU AHEC website, which might be harder for you to do than just go to our website, Grow Midwives, and there's a link at the top of the homepage on how to register for the conference.
Ginger, that's such a great idea that the school or that a grant is paying for students. I
Yeah,
mean, content that they're never going to get
yeah,
in the core
exactly.
competencies. What a
Exactly.
gift to those students. I wonder if there's
Yeah,
any other educational programs that can, scrape up a little grant money for their students as well.
I
Maybe for their
agree.
faculty.
There
Do,
you go.
do
There
they
you go.
allow the faculty to attend as well?
I think they are. Yeah.
Oh, that's a gift. You know
Yeah.
what? This is like the one, if you want to just give something to your staff to show them how much you appreciate them, these are the kind of things. It's not like a pizza party. This is really the stuff that matters
Yeah.
right
I
here.
mean, giving this opportunity to your clinical preceptors
Right. Oh,
would
that's a great idea.
be another idea. Yeah.
Mm, I like that idea as well. Because how many times are we trying to think how we could, kind of incentivize the preceptors and kind of gift them something
Right.
for all the hard
Right.
work that they do.
So let's end with the call to action. Denise, do you have one?
Uh, oh, Ginger.
Or I can go. You
Yeah, how
you
about
decide.
this? I mean, it's easy. Come and register
Mm,
and spend the day with us.
I love
That was
that.
that was
I
way too
love that.
easy, was it?
Nah, it
Was it?
wasn't because mine is after you register, invite somebody to register.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Good thing I went first.
Yeah.
So,
We really hope we build an audience and show these incredible presenters how much we're committed to learning from them.
yeah, I think that's great. And then if you end up coming to the national conference, maybe, there can be a reunion
Yeah,
of those
maybe
break
something will be happening.
of those breakout groups that have maybe, created some ideas.
Yeah,
A
like
lot of
a
maybes.
color and maybe something to wear
Hmm.
and a city permit for a particular sidewalk.
Oh, do we need a permit?
I think we do, Denise.
Oh, I'm such a rebel. I would just be out there taking over the streets.
Yeah, there's a lot of thinking through here, but I think we we deserve to give some due diligence to raising our voices.
Right, right, right. Okay, this sounds very exciting. I think I'll come, Ginger.
All right. Good to talk to you today, Denise,
All
and we'll be
right.
in touch again for our
All
next
right.
Possibilist Midwife podcast.
We'll see you and bring out all that's possible.
Alrighty, bye bye.
Till the next time.